Clancy Wiggum is Springfield's finest. And by finest, I mean most donut-obsessed police chief. He's what you'd call the most awkward police officer ever seen. He's so laid back that he only manages to solve a few crimes in his entire career. Wiggum leads a very safe life without much excitement or risk. But of course, other than finding excuses to indulge in laziness, what else do you do when you're paid in peanuts? Literally speaking. But he was always this way, and how did things work out for him in the future? Find out in The Saga of Chief Clancy Wiggum. Buckle up, because this story is about to get as twisted as a pretzel at Moe's Tavern. Clancy Wiggum was born on April 28, 1947, possibly in Ireland. His parents, Iggy Wiggum and Mrs. Wiggum, were probably too busy arguing over whose turn it was to change his diapers to notice that the little bundle of joy would one day become Springfield's most clueless law enforcer. Now at an early age, Wiggum played cops and robbers with Homer and the other kids. His ambition? To become a police officer. He even practiced giving orders while being a hall monitor in high school. Rumor has it he once confiscated a contraband fruit roll-up from Millhouse. Iggy, the father of Clancy, served with Abe Simpson and Monty Burns as a World War II veteran. Iggy was an exact replica of his father, just like the numerous men in the Flying Hellfish battalions and their sons. Regretfully, Iggy passed away in 1979 during a parade float moment, most likely as a result of Mr. Burns. The mother of Clancy is mostly unknown throughout the series. Her flavor is just like Homer's tomatoes. That's all we know. Wiggum has always wanted to join the police department, maybe as a result of his father's military experience. An 8-year-old Clancy was shown in a Springfield documentary pretending to be a cop or a robber while sporting an adorable little police badge. At the youthful age of 16, Clancy entered the first echelons of the legal system as a hall monitor at Springfield High. However, Paul Wiggum showed him absolutely no regard since all those annoying students would run circles around him in the school hallways. Now this is also where we observe how he tries to behave in good faith, but is rather unobservant when the situation calls for it, allowing such nefarious people, especially Snake Jailbird, to get away with so much more than just escaping. With a sense of responsibility under his belt, he decided to progress in the art of authority by working part-time as a student security monitor at Springfield University's Germ Warfare Lab. Clancy was originally shown to be roughly the same age as Homer, but in this episode, he's considerably older. While Clancy was working the night shift at the Germ Lab, Mona Simpson, Homer's mother, and a gang of hippies entered and exploded an antibiotic bomb, killing Burns' valuable germs. The antibiotics used to neutralize the biological weapons inadvertently cures Wiggum's asthma. This twist of fate allows him to join the police force, setting the stage for his illustrious career. Talk about a career path paved by germs and incompetence. Again, literally speaking. Because of this, he assisted Mona in escaping twice, initially by accidentally striking Mr. Burns with a door, and again, years later, by warning that Mr. Burns and the FBI were on their way to arrest her at the Simpsons' home. This only goes to demonstrate that, even though it was Clancy's job to turn her in, he did what he thought was right. It also begins a trend in which Wiggum seriously violates the rules for his own advantage or want, whether the outcomes are favorable or bad. When Chief Wiggum, who was in his 20s, was admitted into the police academy at the age of 24, he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed and nearly killed the documentary's cameraman. But with a good old gun massage, he managed to escape punishment for all his errors. It appears that Wiggum did not make it through the police academy this time, so he temporarily took a job as a night guard. However, this was a fortunate opportunity for him to meet Sarah, his future wife. However, bear in mind that this specific episode is not regarded as canon. In the episode, we learn that although Sarah seems sweet and sugary, she may not be as kind as she seems. She was actually a criminal who served as a honeypot distraction for Clancy during a diamond raid. The kiss was all part of the plan, but going head over heels wasn't, which swiftly led to banging urges on the mailroom floor. It must have been some sweet affection, since it even resulted in a marriage proposal.
Sarah, you're as lovely as the day I first arrested you.
Oh, Clancy.
As for their official meet-cute narrative, fans believe that when Wiggum put crystal meth on Sarah in order to have an excuse to talk to her, Wiggum went on to complete the police academy, which supposedly took just a weekend. Clancy was a lean and athletic young officer straight out of the academy. That was until he found Lard Lad donuts. Wiggum quickly became a drug investigator and inspected Lenny, Carl, and Homer for illicit drugs on them. But unfortunately for Homer, Sergeant Scrap discovered the doobie hidden inside his crotch. He also arrested Krusty the Clown in a foiled attempt to get to the root of a robbery incident. But later on, in the Chief of Hearts episode, when Wiggum befriends Homer, he demonstrates even more wisdom. Wiggum has climbed the ranks to become the chief of the Springfield Police Department. How did he do it? By providing superiors with back rubs using the handle of his gun. Yes, you heard that right. Nothing says promotion material like a good old-fashioned gun handle massage. Wiggum is part of Springfield's corrupt government. He's asked for or taken bribes more times than Homer said dough. When Bart bribed him with stolen wedding presents, Wiggum's badge read, "Cash bribes only." Subtle, right? As chief of the Springfield Police Department, Wiggum embodies an extreme stereotype: morbidly obese, ignorant, and lazy. His love for donuts and guns is only rivaled by his lack of regard for individual rights and public safety. Now, despite these shortcomings, Wiggum occasionally rises to the occasion. He helped Homer find his wife in Marge on the Lam and rescued Maggie Simpson when she ran away in Homer Alone. His more responsible subordinates, Eddie and Lou, play the straight man to his shenanigans. It's like Laurel and Hardy, but with more sprinkles. Chief Wiggum is the epitome of a lazy police officer. He's gluttonous, irresponsible, and immature. His favorite pastimes? Donuts and guns. His favorite catchphrase? Cuff 'em, Lou. His favorite hobby? Making up his own laws on the fly.
They're about to start, Chief.
No, you got the wrong number. This is 912.
Now completely immersed in his role as head of police, Chief Wiggum always seems to be in need of backup. And that's where the crazy duo of Lou and Eddie come in. Well, except you think Lou asking for a hug from Wiggum at a crime scene isn't weird. These guys appear to be the only barrier standing between Wiggum and any more harm he might cause to a crime scene. They both appear to be far more intelligent and experienced than the chief. But overall, I think these men get along very well. Wiggum frequently violates the regulations, and there have been several situations where he should have been fired or dismissed. In the episode The Springfield Files, he mocks citizens' crime complaints by typing them on his invisible typewriter. He also cautioned Lisa, in My Sister, My Sitter, that if something went wrong, she should call 911 unless there was an emergency. Yes, really. However, as we all know, the government, mafia, and police frequently combine in the art of corruption and inefficiency. And Springfield is certainly no exception. I believe this is a significant reason why Clancy is still the chief of police. He ignores Fat Tony and his associates and covers up Mayor Quimby's controversies as long as he benefits from them. Now, I'm sure when he started, he intended to make the community a better place. But if something major happened right now, Clancy is probably the last person you want to contact. Don't misunderstand us. He's received punishment on a few occasions, such as when he lost his job in the episode Poppy's Got a New Badge. Due to his tremendous ineptitude during a blackout, Homer takes over and establishes himself as a formidable force. However, Homer is modest and believes the town deserves more, so he gives his badge to Wiggum, the first person he encounters. However, Chief Wiggum still has a terrific career, wonderful friends, a stunning wife, and of course Ralph, to whom he's dedicated and frequently resorts to doing some very bizarre things in order to please. This can involve consuming awful crayons and thumbtack sandwiches and acting as though you're about to arrest Bart to make him seem good. This urge to please him, I believe, is primarily due to Ralph's reputation for instability, which was most likely caused by Wiggum dropping him on his head. I mean, he has a tiny imaginary leprechaun companion who sits on his shoulder and advises him to burn everything. Wiggum is aware of this, as well as a strange case of curiosity, and wishes to make his boyhood as simple and enjoyable as possible. Although he's a fumbling klutz at times, he's gone through a lot for the sake of his vocation. After a battle with Snake Jailbird, the two find themselves in Herman's shop, where he ties them up in a Pulp Fiction-like way. But fortunately, before he harms them, Milhouse unintentionally helps by hitting Herman into a coma, which gives them just enough time to get away. But before he could celebrate this escape, Wiggum was shot while performing his duties after attempting to defend his buddies. He was placed into a coma by this almost deadly shot, but when he finally awoke, he and Homer were subsequently taken hostage by Fat Tony and his henchmen. But Wiggum was able to defeat them with his cunning. He isn't the smartest cop around, but he can occasionally do the badge proud, as seen by the Mafia's capture. 8 years later, Chief Clancy's future demonstrates to us that he continues to pursue his greatest interest in life, being a police officer. He may have had a significant upgrade and evolved into a robot similar to RoboCop, although it's more possible that he acquired his new technology as a result of getting shot or transported too frequently. The bright side is, he now has a rotisserie chicken cooker within his stomach. In another 10 years, Wiggum has lost his fancy robot pass and is still as inept as ever. Retirement for Wiggum means trading in his badge for a lifetime supply of jelly-filled donuts. Retirement plan? More like retire-mint plan. He'll spend his golden years napping in a hammock made of police tape. But in a tragic twist, he shoots Homer dead as he leaves a food bank, and as fate would have it, Wiggum chokes to death at the age of 62 after biting on Homer's depressing sandwich. Now there you have it, the life and times of Chief Clancy Wiggum, a man who defies expectations, one donut at a time. Whether he's cuffing 'em, booking 'em, or just enjoying a sweet treat, Wiggum remains an iconic figure in Springfield's colorful tapestry of characters. Now, if you found this timeline amazing, why not click the like and subscribe buttons to get notified when we drop another video? And also, check out the life of his son, Ralph Wiggum.